Alright, guys, I know it's late and I can't sleep. I keep thinking about what happened outside of the house tonight, so I'm going to talk about it for a second. At 9 o'clock tonight, as I was telling my kids that it was time to go to bed, we heard this really loud sound like something being dragged down the street in front of the house. It was bad. It was one of the worst sounds I've ever heard. And I just got off the phone with my neighbors, my friend. And I set it down on the table and I looked at Grandma, who's staying with me right now. I said, I'm going to check it out. So I opened the door and there's this truck laying in the street upside down. And there's smoke around it. And there's gasoline leaking. And the first thing that comes out of my mouth, and I'm sorry for my language, and panicked at the same time, was, holy shit, Raven, get the phone and call 911. When asked what it was, I said, there's a truck flipped upside down. There was just an accident. So I call 911 and I tell 911, because she hands me the phone. Of course, you get the, what's your emergency? And I told them, there's just been an accident out front of my house. The vehicle involved has been flipped. So, they wanted to know if everybody was okay, and I said, we don't know. We don't know if the person inside is conscious, if he's severely hurt. He could be dead. For all we knew. They said, well, send somebody right out. So I go outside to make sure if I can help. I had one of the kids call next door because she was a paramedic at one time. And I said, call her because she knows what to do in case somebody's really hurt. So I get out there and I find out that the person that caused this accident ran. Which means, it was two people. Because one was driving, one was passenger. One ran up the street and one ran down the street. They ran in opposite directions. They did not have seatbelts on because if they did, they wouldn't have been able to get out of the car. Well, truck. We know who did it. We all know this truck. If you live in Oneida, you've seen it. It's a white truck with green, almost green pinstriping, like a teal, with a design on the doors. And it speeds like it's going to a fire. And it drives up and down my street at least 60, 65, 70 miles an hour. It's almost hit my car 4 times. Where it's driving in the winter and it snowed and the roads are slick and it's lost control. So, here's what we think happened. It was coming up the road the opposite way from my house. He was coming so fast, he lost control and slammed his driver's side into the fender of a minivan that's sitting on my side of the street. He totaled it. He hit it so hard, he knocked it into the car in front of it, which happens to be the same owner. It locked the bumpers together. We think he hit it so hard that it caused the truck to kind of go sideways, causing it to flip over. Hence the scraping sound that we all heard. Because it wasn't a crash. It was metal scraping on pavement. That's a sound I'm never going to forget. I'm literally never going to forget that sound. If you watch the video of it being pulled back over, where they flip it back up right side up, but they drag it as they're trying to move it, that's the sound. But it was a lot louder. And the reason I'm making this video and talking about this is because people drive way too fast on my street. We're always yelling, and pardon my language again, slow the fuck down, you're gonna kill somebody. Well, if the accident had happened at 9, but we say 7, it could have very much easily have been one of these kids. Because it was 70 degrees out today. They're all outside. Dusty was out riding his bike. It could have very much well have been Dusty who got hit by this truck. And that's what bothers me. Nobody considers these kids when they're driving through here. I live in an area that are full of children. Because they go to the school right behind Walgreens. And it's not even 5 minutes away from the house. I want people in Oneida who see this to be aware that our road is not 60 miles an hour. It's not even 45. It's 25. That's it. No more, no less. Because one day somebody's going to fly through here. They're going to hit a kid. And God help them if it's one of my children. Because I will kill them. I wanted to make this video for that purpose. I don't want to see somebody have to pick their child up out of the road because some idiot drive through here and hits their kid. It's one of the worst feelings. It's one of the worst thoughts you can have. I've seen a kid be hit by a car. I helped pick him up off of the street when I lived in Ohio. I lived on Riverside Drive in Ohio. Everybody up in Northridge knows where it's at. I lived in the apartments. This little boy was crossing the street. He ran across Riverside. This car was going 50 miles an hour down that road. And he hit that little boy and he sent him 6 feet from where he hit him. 6 feet. So seeing a kid get hit, it's not pretty. I don't want to see it again. And I don't want it to be one of my kids. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Tell your kids you love them. Hold them a little tighter because you don't know what could happen. And God bless everybody. Good night.